Your top 5 is no good to me. I need something more real.
See, I actually used that on that Star Wars trading card game. This guy was like, I'll give you this for this card. I was like, I needed something more real.
Welcome to this special Top 5 brought to you by the Nerd Cave Network. I am Derek, joined along with
Zach
and Robbie.
Today, we are going to be discussing our top 5 Star Wars characters.
Pew pew.
Pew pew. Robbie, why don't you start us off with your number 5?
My number 5 is Han Solo.
Really? That low?
Yeah,
I'm
I told you
surprised.
guys that you weren't going to be happy where I put it. He's a great character, but I just the 4 that's in front of him, you'll see why I like him. I mean,
I didn't know
obviously
you hated Han Solo.
I don't. Obviously, if I hated him, he would not even make the list.
Yeah,
There's,
but he's at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows what
there's
he's
so
talking
many
about.
other characters that I could have chose, but I didn't. Han is in my heart. He'll always be in my heart. I even use him.
You'll be in my heart.
Tarzan.
Yep.
But yeah, he's in my number 5. He's a great character. He adds so much to the Star Wars universe and all the greatness that is him and his little ship thing that he drives around.
Yeah. My number 5, without this character, the Star Wars universe would not be what it is. There's no way that it could be. And this character is the pinnacle and the crutch that the earlier movies had to have. And that's Watto. Annie!
A Jedi, what do you know? Oh,
I need something more real.
I just love the Annie.
your top 5 is no good to me. I need something more real.
See, I actually used that on that Star Wars trading card game. This guy was like, I'll give you this for this card. I was like, I needed something more real. So
yeah, Watto.
Watto, no, I like it. It's a little off the wall choice, but I like it.
Annie.
Oh, God.
My number 5 is the personification of evil in the galaxy, and that would be
Watto.
Annie. My number 5 is Emperor Palpatine. One of the best actors in the prequel trilogy, especially
Yep.
Episode 3. When he reveals himself, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but why are you watching this video?
You watch episode 1, you're like, that's the Emperor.
Yeah, pretty much. Just when he flips that switch and just becomes the personification of evil, he was so good. And just his presence throughout the originals, like you hear of him, but you never see him until Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So that's why he's my number 5.
Lord Vader.
Good.
All right, moving on. My number 4 is the little green munchkin himself, Yoda.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Greedo.
That would have been a good one. But no Yoda, because, he is such a pinnacle force in all, pretty much,
I see what you did there.
Force Awakens.
in the movies,
This
because, he's there. He tells Qui-Gon, no, you cannot train this boy. What does Qui-Gon do anyway? He trains him. He trains Luke. So, he has so much that he adds to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, the mythos.
Yeah.
You still don't know where Yoda's from.
No.
Yeah. Or Yaddle. The female version of Yoda. My number 4. There's so many wrong things with his origins. He's been a stormtrooper. He's been just a person that killed Boba Fett and took his mantle, and then the prequels screwed it all up and made him a clone. The person I'm talking, of course, of is Boba Fett. The guy, T-visor. You see that T-visor, you think of Boba Fett, and that's something, he had such a small presence on the originals, and then you have Jango Fett, his father, which you see that T-visor, and you're like, oh yeah. So Boba
and that
Fett.
sexy ship he drives, the Slave One.
Oh yeah, the Slave One.
That thing, I know I keep bringing that Star Wars card game up, but I had the Slave One till it got destroyed, and oh my God, was that thing just incredibly powerful.
The bad thing about it on Battlefront, it's super slow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it packs a punch.
Oh yeah,
The seismic charges from Episode 2 were amazing.
Yeah, best thing ever. So, Derek, what is your number 4?
My number 4, I'm sticking with the dark side of the Force, and I'm going to go with Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker.
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay?
Are you okay, Annie? Good song, by the way.
So, why
Little
is
Michael
Darth
Jackson.
so low?
Well, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite because I was calling out Robbie, but there are just other characters that I like more.
You don't
And
see
Douchebag.
his
I'm not
power.
going to lie, Hayden Christensen, especially going back and watching the prequels,
What's the best part of Star Wars?
kind of taints it a little bit for me.
No.
That's just
James Earl Jones.
Well, I love James Earl Jones.
You're a weak old man. You can't beat that.
I like James Earl Jones. But yeah, Darth Vader's my number 4.
Well, speaking of weak old man, coming in at number 3 is none other than Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You got some phlegm?
No, I mean, he's just always been one of my favorite characters, especially when, he had a chance to turn on the lightsaber when Luke was looking into it and kill him right there and then, kill the hero. But I don't remember that part.
Yeah, I do.
I just thought it was funny to add in there.
Save
But
the
anyway.
cheerleader, save the world.
Hero. But Obi-Wan's such a great character and everything he does, and that scene whenever he's him and I just hit my mic, but whenever him and Darth are fighting and then he just disappears. That was one of the most epic parts of.
He was a magician.
He was a magician. He's a magic man.
He's an old wizard.
Yeah.
But he's my number 3.
My number 3, the actual saving grace of the prequels, Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan.
That it was.
I really, really dug his role as Obi-Wan. I love Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan in the prequels and everything, but he doesn't get very far into the movie and dies. But I think Ewan McGregor, whatever his name is, Obi-Wan Kenobi, took on that role and made it his own and kept the, just the eccentric things that Alec Guinness did with that role. And it's
you see it even more in Episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially because they were making that transition because he had the Jedi mullet in 2, which I liked. I had my hairstyle like that back in the day.
Had to rock it.
Had to rock the Jedi mullet. And then, in Episode 3, they grade him up a little bit, made him look a little bit closer to what Alec Guinness was. And I think without McGregor in the prequels, it would have tanked.
Yeah.
Especially because he was the only one that breathed any kind of life into the relationship between him and Annie.
And plus, he could act.
Yeah, he actually can act, so that's a positive. So,
My number 3 is the person. Annie. No, not Annie. We've already passed Annie. The person's shirt I'm wearing, Boba Fett.
You mean Derek Diamond?
Well, if I were a Star Wars character, then I would be number 3. I wouldn't even be number 1 on my own list.
Actually, I think a gunk droid would have more personality than
Probably so.
Gunk. Gunk.
What was that little tiny creature in Jabba's palace?
Oh, yeah.
That would be Derek.
No, he's too jolly.
Yeah, no, he's a little too
Actually,
happy.
that you would be the guy's cousin, the emo cousin of that one.
Probably.
Sitting in the corner just staring at everybody.
More of a Bib Fortuna, to my opinion.
Ugh.
Anyway, Boba Fett, seeing him for the first time in Empire Strikes Back, he came off as really,
It's no good to me dead.
No good to me dead. And when they went back and
What kind of
added
accent?
in,
That was not a
Morrison's-
Boba accent.
Yeah. But you kind of touched on it earlier. He was one of the most popular characters, but he didn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But reading, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Put Captain Solo in the ship. But no, it's reading some of the extended universe. I loved his role in Shadows of the Empire.
Yes.
When he was trying to get Han Solo to Jabba, and all the other bounty hunters were trying to stop him and couldn't do it. So I like him for a lot of the extended universe stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he just has that really cool vibe. And I like Jango Fett, too. But Boba Fett is the original, technically. He's my number 3.
His backpack got jets.
Yeah.
He's Boba
Word.
the Fett. Bounty hunts for Jabba the Hutt to finance his vet. Wiki.
Wiki. Some rocket power. But my number 2 is the ultimate baddie. Numero doso.
No number dose.
Is the ultimate baddie himself is Darth Vader. Because, I mean, obviously, Derek knows who the number 1 is in my heart. But my number 2 would definitely be Darth because he adds... well, not the earlier, but whenever he becomes Darth, just seeing him, especially at 3, rising up for the first time as Darth Vader.
Padme.
Was like... No! And when he did that, it just sent chills because I was like, it's about to get real now.
Oh, yeah. My number 2 is Han Solo. I really enjoy Han Solo's character. I haven't, of course, none of us has seen Force Awakens, so I'm not sure how it's going to translate into him being an older man, but he's always he's that guy you want to be. You know, you can't be Luke or anything like that because you're not in tune with the Force, but you can be Han Solo. He's just a normal guy, and he's just the personification of cool. He's that just cocky guy, that gets all the women and has the fastest ship in the galaxy.
Well, if you notice, a lot of girls are wearing the traditional Han Solo because, how they have the vest and they wear the jeans with those boots that come up to the knee. This is why it's called the Han Solo season. That's when it gets cold because I've seen pictures of it on Facebook.
I've never heard that reference before.
I have. Like, you look, there's a meme of it.
Harrison Ford is rolling over in his grave right now.
He's
called it. Han Solo's going to die in this movie.
I agree with that, by the way.
I think
and
it should be
Chewie
Leia.
and Luke. Everybody dies.
A giant black hole
All
appears.
the originals die in the first 5 minutes.
And the Emperor's like, everything's going according to my plan. Good. Annie.
Mind tricks don't work on me. But my number 2 also is Han Solo for a lot of the same reasons that you gave. He's just cool. Him and Lando both. They're not Force users, but they're their own characters. They're so different than a Jedi or a bounty hunter. They're, to me, their own category.
Yeah.
And Han Solo has some of the best quotes
that he does
in the movie.
Hokey religions.
And ancient weapons.
Are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid.
Also,
it's funny because he was like that in the originals, and then in the trailer, he's the one preaching that
it's
Jedi
real.
are real.
It's all real. And he's the only non-Force user so far in the movies to use a lightsaber. Whenever he cut a tauntaun up, put Luke inside.
Thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Little trivia for you guys.
Yeah, it's pretty much for the same reasons that you gave,
Yeah.
but Han Solo is my number 2 as well. Love Han Solo.
Coming in at my number 1, there's always a bigger fish. Qui-Gon himself.
I'm done.
This show's over.
Turn off that camera.
I quit.
I almost thought of coming in with a Jar Jar or the young Annie.
Jar.
But no Qui-Gon because
the only person to dupe Qui-Gon Jinn? Watto.
Annie.
I mean, him himself, along with a few others, helped bring down the Jedi Order by training Anakin into the killer that he was.
Mm-hmm.
But Qui-Gon's always been such a cool character in that one movie.
Because Liam Neeson, isn't it? Other than that.
Well, like, I remember the first time, watching The Phantom Menace, that's the one character that I really, was like, oh, this guy's super cool. I liked him. And then, he dies. But, spoiler, if you didn't know that.
He dies like a...
Well, it's because that douchebag Obi-Wan was having to wait.
I Can't help that.
Yeah, he could have. He could have ran faster.
There was barriers.
Who cares? He could have done something.
Whatever. Anyway, my number 1. See, I didn't really have a number 5, so I threw Watto in there. I totally should put Lando on this list, but my number 1, of course, is Darth Vader. I've always resonated with Darth Vader.
Evil.
It's exactly, yeah, and he's always been my number 1. Like, there's no way that's going to change, and he's just the most interesting one. When you see him in the movies, you have that feeling of, what's going to happen. This dark lord, this guy clad in black armor with this voice that
any scene with Darth Vader instantly grabs your attention.
Oh yeah. Because you know what's coming before he even shows up, because they hint at it with the Imperial March.
Yeah, which was penned by John Williams for Episode 5, because it wasn't in the original one. There's a little bit of tidbit of knowledge right there. But Darth Vader is just amazing. I always love in comics, anytime he shows up, he just destroys everything.
The new Vader comic is really good.
I have to get back into it. I wanted to read it.
It's really, really good.
In the extended universe, he's always the interesting one to me. A lot of them are. But yeah, Darth Vader, number 1 for me.
Very nice.
And closing it out, my number 1, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because of Ewan McGregor's portrayal.
Yeah.
Because one cool thing, and especially going back watching the prequels, you kind of follow his journey just as much as you do Anakin.
Yep.
Because he starts off as a Padawan
With
and then is thrown into this role of training this kid that he has... Exactly. He has no knowledge of. He knows the Jedi Council, they don't want him trained.
But
so
he made a promise.
Yeah, he made a promise to his master. So he's put in this role where it's kind of a no-win situation for him, and you really see him grow along with Anakin.
Yeah.
They just take different paths. Alec Guinness was great too for what limited role he had in the originals.
Yeah.
But just seeing his journey and just him being that young teacher, I think was really cool, and I just that made Obi-Wan my favorite character in the entire Star Wars universe.
And just some of the dialogue that he used in the movie, like the McGregor, but was hilarious at some points. Like whenever he's talking about Anakin and the speeders, and I think it was Episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just funny stuff like that made him stand out to me.
Yeah.
Any honorable mentions from either one of y'all?
I'm surprised we didn't talk about Lando. I mean, I figured he would be on all of our lists.
Darth Maul.
Yeah.
See, he was on mine, but he was a late scratch.
Yeah. Lando, coolest guy in the galaxy. Go
Lando Calrissian.
That was my my go-to name, was Lando for a while.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah.
We tried to forget it, but I mean...
That never can be forgotten. Well, guys, let us know who your top 5 Star Wars characters are. We want to know. We want to interact, and
Unless it's Jar Jar, then don't tell us.
Yeah, don't tell us. But if it's Watto, you're my number 1 in my heart.
Any.
Guys, Robbie, where can they find us on social media?
We are all over Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're actually getting ready to create a new group on the Facebook.
The Book of Face.
We can have more interaction with you guys. So as Zach makes his beautiful face. Derek, what's the website and all the podcast information?
Our website is nerdcavenetwork.com. You can find links to all of our YouTube videos, all of our podcasts. We have the Nerd Cave podcast every Tuesday on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Thursday, we have my interview show, The Derek Diamond Experience, and coming soon, the return of Time for Comics.
Or comics.
And we have the Pop Culture Palette every Saturday night, which airs at 7 p.m. on Seneca Radio.
Cinco de Mayo Radio.
Cinco de Mayo.
Guys, make sure that you like this video. Share it. We want to be involved as much as possible with you. You're our best friend. So keep sharing that and comment below. We want to interact with you. So thanks for subscribing. This has been Zach,
Derek,
and Robbie.
Have a week. And go watch Star Wars.
Word.
You scruffy nerf herder.